Jazwares Sonic the Hedgehog toy line needs no introduction. Regarded as one of the best toy lines and the most influential at its time, there are many aspects of the toy line, with their figures being the most influential part of the line. An often overlooked part of the line, however, are the plushies. The Jazwares plushies are not perfect by any means, and their lack of character variety really hurts the line. With only Sonic, Tails, Shadow, Silver, and the Werehog being released for the modern line, while the classic line is more complete with Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Amy, and Metal Sonic, the modern line leaves a lot to be desired. This was not always going to be the case, however, as we have seen toy fair images of Big the Cat, Eggman, Knuckles, and have found classic Super Sonic and Black Knight Sonic floating around the internet too. However, unlike everyone else, we have never seen any clear images of the modern Knuckles plush. For years, we've only had an image of Knuckles' legs, and nothing else has been seen about it over 10 years. Most people assumed it got destroyed, as prototypes usually do, as companies typically do not find any more use for a prototype as it is just a test sample. I was curious if the Knuckles plush suffered the same fate, so a few months ago I messaged Joe Amaro about it. He was the director of the Jazwares toy line back then. I messaged him saying, "So there are a lot of mysteries surrounding the line. Me and a friend of mine have been trying to do our best with documenting anything we can find. One big question is a modern Knuckles plush that was featured at a toy fair back in 2010. Unfortunately, in the video, only Knuckles' feet were shown. Could you have a full image of the plush?" Amara responded with, "Plushes are difficult because for those, the only way we can get approval from Sega was to actually make one. So the factory would make a test sample by hand and send it to us. Some of them were not approved or had to be changed, so they were destroyed. Sometimes those samples were shown at toy fairs and then destroyed. They were destroyed because we did not want the factory to get confused and make the wrong one." So with that, I responded with, "We do know some plush prototypes that have survived, a Big the Cat, and 2 Sonic and a Black Knight plushies. Maybe a Knuckles could have survived the crossfire too? Maybe. I know at one point the girl that was in charge of plushies had a whole drawer full of them, and she donated them to local charities, but she never cataloged any of them." Then I proceeded to ask him if he had any images of the Knuckles plush in hand. Unfortunately, he said he didn't, since the girl in charge of them handled them all. This left us at a dead end, as we yet again had no other lead for any images of the Knuckles plush. Months go by and the Knuckles plush passes my mind as yet another unsolved mystery of the Jazwares line, as per usual. Then on February 14th, 2024, at 1:07 AM, a member of my Jazwares research and archival server, Emerald, alerts us about the Knuckles prototype plush being found on Facebook Marketplace. It was a listing of a seller in Thailand. The seller said they found it in a thrift store and that most of the items they get in those thrift stores are usually imported. It really blows my mind with how many years this plush could have been in circulation, and with it being ported overseas at least twice. And with that, here he is, the Jazwares prototype Knuckles plush. Finally, after years, we finally get a good look at him. As you can see, the red is still a beautiful bright red with its embroidered eyes and the crest on its chest. The material of the plush is a nice soft material similar to the original Tails plush. You can see that on his eyes, they're not fully white, as there is red from the base of the plush popping out. Similar to the factory reject Amy plush that has something similar but way more noticeable. You can also see that both of the hands are different. One of the hands is closed and one of them is open. We haven't seen this much on Knuckles plushies, so it's really cool that this Jazwares Knuckles is like that. You can also see that there is some vinyl on the shoes, with the yellow strip and the buckle having them. You can also see some really nice sole detail on the bottom of the shoes. The spiky knuckles on the gloves are just little flaps, but I find that pretty charming personally. The only real issue with the plush that I have is his bulbous head, which is pretty flat and it looks pretty funny, but it's not the worst thing in the world. The dreads are also beautifully done, and as well as his exact tail. The tag is actually the UK version of the tag, which has the Tomy branding, as Tomy distributed the Jazwares license back in the UK. What makes this more interesting is how other prototype plushies have the UK tag on them. No idea as to why, but it's really cool. Hopefully one day we can find out why all the prototype plushies have the UK tags. Maybe they remain in factory in the UK. I kinda doubt that, but it would still be interesting nonetheless. It's really sad knowing that the Knuckles plush never got approved into the line, as he makes the line feel so much more complete with him in it. But at least now we have a good look of the plush and what could have been. But that is all we have for the plush. I'm glad you get to finally have this plush documented and give others a good image of it. After 10 years of wondering what could have been, it's really nice to finally have a resemblance of what could have happened if Sega just accepted the Knuckles plush. Thank you so much for watching, and let me know if you like this kind of content. This is the first YouTube video I've ever made, and it was really fun to do. Thank you for everyone who has stopped by, and anyone who has supported me, you know, from my Instagram days to now, and I really look forward to making more videos in the future for everyone. With that, Have a great day, all of you.